Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new, cause I missed you so I'm late.
Hey, what's up friends? Moses here from Driver Success. I hope and pray that you guys are doing well. I just decided to stop by here for a quick break. I'm coming from New Mexico, from our DC in Los Lunas, and I'm heading to the DC in Plainview. I'm just gonna have myself some breakfast. I have some yogurt right here, some chia seeds. What is this? I forget what they call it. And then I'll put in some honey and I'll get on my way. When I was leaving Las Lunas this morning, there was a driver, an over-the-road driver, not a Walmart driver, like one of the third-party drivers that had brought in some loads into the Walmart DC, right? And he was talking to the receivers in the office because he was excited. He was going to be going home. It was his go-home day. And so he was telling the receivers that usually when it's his go-home day, something happens that makes him, delay, like for some reason, something comes up that disorganizes his time. And so he either goes home later than he would have loved to or something like that. And in my mind, I was like, I remember those days. I remember those days where I used to be like over the road, and for some reason, I don't know why, but when it's your time to go home, it's like either they will dispatch you on a load that is crazy, or especially when I had just started out in trucking. At least now trucking has changed a lot with the regional driving. But when I started out, it was mostly more of over the road, and they wanted you to stay out there. Anyway, what that reminded me was how different Walmart is when it comes to our go-home time. Last week, I had a load out of, I don't remember, but I was in Oklahoma. I had a load out of Oklahoma City. Was it Oklahoma City? No. It wasn't Oklahoma City, but somewhere in Oklahoma, close to Oklahoma City. I picked up the load and I had about 5 hours on my 14 to make it to, where was I going? I was going to, I think, Clarksville in Arkansas. So that was like the day before my go home day. So I had 5 hours, so I'm like, okay, that's good. I liked the way they had planned me because it meant I was gonna go from Oklahoma, go to Clarksville, spend the night at the DC, and then in the morning they would get me something else. Then maybe either I would go pick up a load or make some deliveries and head towards Sanger. But the funny thing happened is I remember I made a video when I had just got this schedule in that same truck that I was in last week. I had picked up a load from a customer. I got to scale it at the truck stop. After scaling that load, I go inside to get my ticket, get back into the truck, and the truck couldn't start. So that time they had to tow me back to Sanger. If you guys remember that video. Well, same thing happened. I pick up the load. It was heavy. I go to scale it at petrol. I go scale, park, go inside, get my ticket. I'm all excited to hurry so I can make it within my time. Go to start the truck. It wouldn't start. But I remember what the other guy, what the mechanics at our shop had told me. So I look and I knew exactly what the problem is. The same problem. So they told me what the problem was. So it's the same problem that I'm experiencing right now. They told me what you need to do. Like, it's just, I think these internationals have that problem. There is something you just have to unhook it and hook it back. The only challenge is, I don't know why International did it this way. It is like you have to get underneath the truck and go up somewhere there. There is something you have to pull, a plug you have to pull, and then just unplug and plug it back. I try to figure out if I can get underneath the truck and see if I can see that plug and pull it, get it back. And I just realized there is no way I can get underneath there. So this load was supposed to be there before midnight. I just had enough time to make it there. I only have, right now I have less than 5 hours left. So from here, I was just, planning to just get on the freeway, go and make it there. But now with this, there's no way I'm gonna make it there tonight. I had to call, our fleet support. Good enough, they end up saying somebody can fix it there at the petrol. But the people at the petrol thought, the people I had called thought maybe it had to do something with the battery. They send a battery guy. I tell him I don't think it's the battery. I tell him to look at the issue. I explained to him what I thought the problem was because it had happened. So I tell the guy, he's like, he had no idea what I was talking about. He went underneath to try and look for what, because there's something you have to unplug and then just plug it back in so that it can reset. But for some reason, he couldn't see it. So anyway, he calls the master technician, his master technician. He didn't actually call, he had to go back because I was at the petrol, the truck stop. So he goes, talks to him. The guy was almost leaving to go home. He tells him, what you can do is just unhook the batteries, give it about 20 minutes, rehook, it should do the same thing. Well, the guy comes, he tries to disconnect the batteries, but for some reason it was giving him trouble. He thought he was disconnecting them, but he hadn't. The power was still on. So he had to go back and forth from the shop, come back, open the whole side of the truck to get to the batteries. Finally, he unhooks it. He waits, and then he tries to rehook it. Power wasn't coming through. He tried everything, and nothing was working. Power wasn't coming through at all. Meanwhile, I had put my windows down, so now it was getting cold in here. So he kept going back and forth from the shop and coming back. He would go back to get something, come back, try, nothing. The last time he left, it took him long to come back. So I'm like, what is happening? The interesting thing is I said a simple prayer because I was getting cold and I'm wondering now what am I going to do? Because there's no power, there's no heater. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do because either I have to call like Uber to come and take me to a hotel in case they can't fix it. But I remember saying a simple prayer. I just said, God, I'm getting cold. Something needs to be done. I don't know what to do. Remember, this guy has left. He didn't tell me anything. I don't know if he's coming back or what. So I go and turn the key, and I look, and it's like there's power. I start, and the truck starts. I'm like, oh, thank you, Father. It was just a simple prayer. I'm like, thank you, Father. So I put on the heat. I roll up the windows, put on the heat, get comfortable. And then I'm like, where's this guy? And then I get a call from Fleet Support telling me, oh, we just got a call from the petrol. They are saying they can't do anything about that truck. For some reason, power is not coming back on. And so what they're going to do, they want to see if you can just stay there until the morning when somebody will come, when the master technician will come, and then he will have to look at it. And I'm like, I'm right here in the truck. The truck is starting, everything is fine. They're like, what? So they tell me to go and tell the master technician. So I go and to go and tell the people at the shop. So I had to walk there, go tell them. And the guy was like, he didn't know what I was talking about, because he's like, he had tried everything had failed. Honestly, for me, my belief is it was that prayer, because the guy just couldn't believe what I was telling him. He came and he's like, what? Because he had left that place open. He had hooked back everything, but had left the place like kind of open. He had put back stuff, but he hadn't screwed it on because he thought we had to wait until the morning. So when I told him, he just came, screwed back everything on, and I was fine. But I couldn't go because I was now out of time. So because I think I was there for maybe like 3 or 4 hours. So I just spent the night, and in the morning I went delivered. Now, the whole point why I'm telling the story is home time. So all I had to do was I went, made that delivery. As soon as I dropped that load there, they just deadheaded me back to Sangha. Now, if maybe like something had happened and I couldn't make it to Clarksville and then to Sangha, I'll just let them know, and probably they will just tell me to go from Oklahoma back to Sangha. The whole point I bring back the story is what I was saying, hearing this driver talk about like everything goes wrong. One thing I've noticed about Walmart, they will do whatever it takes to get you back home on your go home day. Of course, I'm thinking there may be times where that will almost be impossible, but so far I haven't had anybody say anything about that. But I remember one time when I was with my mentor, there's a time where he was like, we were supposed to be going home, right? And he's like, I don't think we are going to make it home today. And he told me, if we don't make it, we'll just stop somewhere and then continue. So yes, because of the nature of the job, it could happen where you may have to spend a layover and then continue home the following day. But they do whatever is within their power to get you home on your go home day. Like today, they are trying to get me back towards Sangha. So I'm going to go to Plainview. I'm sure they're going to get me something that will eventually get me to Sangha, because tomorrow is my go home day. So that was really interesting to hear this driver. It kind of reminded me of those my early days in trucking, and also how Walmart handles stuff. So for those of you that may be interested in Walmart, if you have the experience and the requirements, I encourage you to apply. If you need somebody to use on your application as a reference, I give you permission to use me. All you have to do is put my name, Moses. Driver ID number is 72112, and that should work for you. All right, friends, until next time, stay blessed and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Yeah, driver success. Yeah, this is driver success. Sharing my life, it's as real as it gets. Keep my faith in my creator, he is my navigator. So tell me if you ready, cause you know I'm rolling steady. A husband, father, Christian and truck driver, telling you my story and the world through my eyes. So keep the faith, let's keep it fresh. And this is driver success. Yeah, let's go.